Ladies and gentlemen, the cup final is upon us. The Glasgow derby is upon us, and Christmas is upon us as well. The first trophy of the season is up for grabs tomorrow. Keith here from Commander Hoops. This is your first time coming across the channel. Please do like and subscribe. It would be really appreciated. Even a comment below would be fantastic. Look, it's going to be a really good cup final. The current holders against the previous season's holders. Celtic versus Rangers. Celtic are going for their 22nd League Cup victory. And look, at the end of the day, it's going to be a hard one. They're on form. They got a good result the other night at Ibrox against Spurs. They could have won it, to be honest, but Fraser Frost at the end pulled off an absolute cracker of a save against Dessers. And yet they beat Nice away in the Europa League. They went to beat Kilmarnock at Ibrox and then going on to beat Ross County away last weekend. So their heads are up eventually this season. They've had a miserable season. We're flying this season in all competitions. One defeat so far. Unbeaten in the league. Unbeaten in the League Cup, obviously. And this is a game where Brendan Rodgers wants to win his 10th honour as a Celtic manager. The first trophy he won as a Celtic manager, you're going back to 2016 when we beat Aberdeen in the Betfred Cup 3-0 that day. 3-0. And look, if we want this trophy back, Callum McGregor has always said it. You know, it was good winning the double, but not winning the League Cup in early exit last season affected us big time. So do they have the mental temper to go out and actually beat Rangers tomorrow? I'm quite confident we can do it. I think we have a good bench there. The only kick in the arse is we don't have Luke McCown because he's cup tied, because he played for Dundee earlier in the competition in the group stages. So yes, we beat Aberdeen in the semi-final, hammered them, kind of burst our bubble as well in regards to all our competition. Look, we're 11 points clear of Rangers in the league. We're 9 points clear of Aberdeen. And yes, it's completely different on the day. Form goes out the window, some people say. It's down to the hunger. It's down to the desire. It's 50-50 allocation in Hampden as well. I've touched on this so many times on the channel. I'd like to see the all allocation being brought back for both stadiums. We're far away from it, down to security concerns about the allocation. I know Celtic had it all intact for the opening game of the season against them, but they didn't. They were in compliance. They couldn't guarantee safety for Celtic fans going into the fixture in January. So hopefully it goes back to that. I know Celtic fans have different opinions. Rangers fans have different opinions about the allocation, going back to the old style. They don't want the away fans. And I think it kicks off the atmosphere. I think having Celtic back in the broom long would be fantastic. Rangers back in that corner. I just think it brings an extra spice to the game. It makes it a proper Glasgow derby. I don't call it an old firm because this club is claiming that, you know, they have so many trophies. They were liquidated in 2012. Let's be honest. They were liquidated. So my starting lineup for the game, look, we done well the other night over in Zagreb. We should have won. They were there for the taking, and we just didn't have that final product in the final third of the pitch. Nicholas Cohen had a chance in the second half. You know, Quago put pressure on. The ball was passed into Adamid, and they cleared it last seconds. But I wouldn't put my head down about it. Look, it's a point on the road in the Champions League. We're one victory away from clinch and playoff football. But tomorrow is about getting this cup over the line. It puts us in a great step for the season. Once done, you focus on the game, a game after that. You know, every game to me is always like a cup final, regardless if it's home in the league or away in the league or a Champions League. It's always like a cup final, because if you lose that game or draw that game, the scrutiny you get from fans, players getting scrutiny. And look, at Rio HATATE the other night wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. But I think some Celtic fans were thrown under the bus. It's like they're losing patience with him. He wasn't great against Bruges as well at home in the Champions League. But this is a guy that has scored against Rangers in the past. If we go back to that 3-0 game where we ended up on top of the league back in 2022, that was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable that night. 3-0 at Celtic Park. It was a Wednesday game. But like Rio, every player has their ups and their downs. And I'll be honest with you, I think Rio HATATE will probably move in the summer. I think if 12 million comes in for Rio HATATE, I'll let him go. I know Matt already went for twice the price, but I think Rio HATATE being inconsistent at times just shows that we could move him on. And yes, Arnie Ingles came off the bench and dictated the game, and Luke McCown played well the other night. It's a shame we don't have Luke McCown, because Luke McCown is a guy that, as a Celtic fan, coming to this club, joining from Dundee, he knows the stakes are high. And we would have loved to see him out there playing against them. Would have loved to see him getting crunched. And I would have probably started him against them, to be honest with you. But Paulo Bernardo was outstanding the other night away in Zagreb. I thought he battled well. I thought he showed a bit of drive as well. And he has a couple of goals against them as well. So starting lineup, Kasper Schmeichel, big saves out of him in the last 4 or 5 games. Look at clean sheets are there. It's been reports that he's not even looking at triggering his contract just yet, and he just wants to enjoy football. And then at the end of the season, Brendan, the club, Kasper, they will all sit down and hopefully get that extension triggered for another season. I think he's been absolutely outstanding. Look at his distribution of the ball, his presence. Just feel quite comfortable. You just feel quite safe with Kasper Schmeichel. And plus, the back four ahead of him have that confidence as well, that when the ball gets crossed in, he is going to dictate, he is going to punch it, he is going to try catch it, he is going to try and make a presence there. So, Kasper Schmeichel. Alistair Johnston came off at half-time in Zagreb, and there was concern there he won't be fit for the game. He wasn't a part of training yesterday, but Brendan Rodgers did confirm in the press conference that he's available for selection. So Alistair Johnston will play right back. We go back to Alistair Johnston's debut at Ibrox back in January 23, where he had an absolute stormer. Some people were a bit, will he replace Josip Ivanovic? And he's been absolutely unbelievable. Better than Jovanovic in my eyes. Future captain, I'm really happy with Alistair Johnston. I praise him all the time on the channel. Look, I'm sure he will have his moments like every player does, but at the moment, we've got to treasure the positive moments, the impact he brings to the team, getting up that flank, his relationship with Nicholas Keown. And look, he took the captaincy a couple of times as well. So Alistair all day, play right back, he'd be up for it. Left back, you could go for Alex Valle for a bit of pace, bring something different from Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor, for me, I go for Greg Taylor. He's played in this fixture. He scored this fixture as well at Hampden. He knows what the stakes are high. He's going into his final 6 months as a Celtic player. He can start talking to clubs in the next 2 weeks. And if he wants a new contract, he has to step up for the big games. Greg Taylor for me. The centre-backs, I'll go for Austin Trusty and Carter Vickers. A part of me feels a bit sad. I'm not saying Liam Scales, because Liam Scales has been immense in the derby games against them in recent times. But I think Trusty and Carter Vickers have formed a good relationship there in Europe, in the league. I just think Carter Vickers is coming onto his game. Yes, he had an error a couple of weeks ago against Bruges, but as I said already in the channel, players will have these mistakes in them. So for me, Trusty and Carter Vickers all day, the American centre-backs. Callum McGregor will start. I can fancy Callum McGregor getting a goal against these tomorrow. He scored in the last Glasgow derby at Celtic Park. Look, they've struggled against us in recent times, and Clermont hasn't even beaten us yet. So the pressure will be on him. Pressure will be on him massively. Midfield, Rio HATATE and Paulo Bernardo. I've discussed already Bernardo's form. I think Bernardo's been playing well. I thought he played well at Patagy as well. I thought he's played well in Zagreb. And Rio HATATE, he'll come into this game. You go back to that cup final, the 25th of May last season, when we beat them, when Adam Ida scored in the dying embers of the game. Thought Bernardo dictate the game when he came on. Right wing, Nicholas Keown, it's a no-brainer. If he wants to make his name at Celtic, he has to score against the rivals as well. Look, he's done the Champions League, but scoring against Rangers brings another level, another affection from the fans, another love there. And I think he has it in him. Nicholas Keown definitely has it in him. Daisy Maeda, there's no question he starts. He'd be number one on the team for me, because even ahead of the captain, even ahead of Kasper, I just think he lives rent-free in Tavernier's head. He's scored in recent times against them. He knows to play against them. And he just brings a different level. That pace, that energy, They're just even getting back and winning the ball. Daisy Maeda for me all day. Then up front, Kyogo. Big game player. And he loves a goal against them as well. He scored against them in the opening game, the fixture, the opening derby, the fixture. So for me, Coyle has to start. Look, we have a strong bench. Ingles could come on. Jamesy could come on. Ida can come on. For a bit of physicality, we can bring players on. Ralston can come on and do a job as well. Valle can come on. So there is a bench there that can dictate the game and change it around when they come on. And look, Rangers are not going to be any pushover, folks. I'm not expecting a 3 or 4-0 win tomorrow. Definitely not. So my final prediction for the game, I think it's going to be 2-1 after extra time. I think Rangers will score. I think Dessers will score against us tomorrow. As much as I hate saying, I feel like, Nicholas Kuhn will get a goal, and I'm going to say Callum McGregor for the winner. Callum McGregor for the winner, or Carter Vickers for the winner. Either one of them. So let me know in the comments your predictions for the game tomorrow, your starting lineup, and I'll speak to you all soon. Have a good weekend. I'll be back tomorrow. I might be even back tonight for a preview live. So hail, up the Celts.